You know, what if I told you that one of the biggest security promises you see online, you see it everywhere, doesn't always mean what you think it means? Today, we're going to dive into that idea with a wild story about a futuristic product that collects, well, some of the most personal data imaginable. And it forces us to ask a really important question. Who's really in control here? Okay, let's just start with a pretty provocative question. Would you pay for a camera in your toilet? I know. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction. But what if that device could give you genuinely valuable, maybe even life-saving insights into your health? Does that change the equation for you? Well, meet the Dakota Smart Toilet. For $600 plus a monthly subscription, this little gadget clips right onto your toilet rim. It uses downward-facing sensors, and only downward-facing sensors, they make that very clear, to capture images and data from inside the bowl. The big promise? To give you personalized insights on your gut health, your hydration. It's a health tracking device, just, unlike any other one you've seen before. Now, to calm any, let's just say, obvious privacy concerns, the company makes a very specific, very reassuring promise all over its website and ads. Your data is protected with end-to-end encryption. Okay, that sounds great. That's the gold standard for privacy, right? Case closed. But that promise, that exact phrase, leads to a really interesting little puzzle. See, the term end-to-end is usually for communication between people, like a private chat. So what in the world does it mean for a device that isn't really talking to anyone else? Let's break that down. So what is end-to-end encryption, or E2EE, really? The simplest way to think about it is like a sealed letter. Only the person who sent it and the person it's addressed to have the key to open it. The mail carrier, the post office, the service provider in the middle, they can't peek inside. It's why apps like Signal or WhatsApp are so secure. The companies themselves can't read your messages, even if they wanted to. Let's just walk through it real quick. Your device locks the data. It then travels across the internet. It passes right through the company's servers, but here's the kicker. They can't unlock it. It only gets unlocked when it arrives safely at the recipient's device. That middle step, where the company is totally locked out, that is the most important part of the whole thing. Which brings us right back to our smart toilet. If you are one end of the conversation, who holds the key to the other end? I mean, you're not sending this data to a friend, right? So who exactly is the recipient in this supposedly end-to-end encrypted system? And this, my friends, is where the story takes a very sharp turn. Because the answer to that question reveals that what's happening with your data is, well, very different from what the marketing wants you to believe. So here it is, the critical difference. With true end-to-end encryption, only you and the person you're talking to have the keys. But in this case, the two parties with access are you and the company. And if they have the key, that means they can read your data, period. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote is a direct confirmation from the company's own privacy contact. They state that data travels to their systems where it is, and I quote, decrypted and processed. So there it is. The company is the other end. They hold the key. So what the company is describing here isn't some super advanced privacy shield. It's actually just standard web security called HTTPS. It's the little padlock you see in your browser. It's great. It encrypts data while it's in transit between you and a server. But it's been a basic, fundamental security practiced for decades. It is absolutely not the same thing as true end-to-end encryption. So you gotta ask the question, right? If the company holds the key and they can see all of this incredibly sensitive data, why? Why would they want to? What are they actually doing with it? I mean, really think about it. If the whole point is just to give you health insights on your own personal app, why would they ever need to decrypt your data on their servers? Why not just do it on your phone? And the answer, of course, is buried right in their own privacy policy. Your data may be used to train our AI and machine learning models. Ah, there it is. To make their products smarter, their AI needs a massive, and I mean massive, amount of data to learn from. And that data is your data. And it's not just for one thing. When you sign up, you're prompted to allow your data to be used for a whole range of purposes. We're talking research and development, de-identifying it for so-called lawful purposes, analyzing their platform, and even, get this, to promote the business. That is a much, much broader scope than just sending stats to your phone. Okay, so let's zoom out, because this story really isn't just about one high-tech toilet. It shines a really bright light on a much bigger trend in tech and marketing that, honestly, it affects every single one of us.
This is a textbook example of something called privacy washing. It's when a company uses these powerful, reassuring terms like end-to-end encryption as marketing buzzwords. It makes a product sound way more secure than it actually is, while their own fine print tells a completely different story. So what's the takeaway here? What can you actually do? Well, it's a huge reminder to always read past the big, flashy marketing claims. You have to understand what these security terms actually mean. And most important of all, always ask that one critical question. Who holds the key to my data? If the answer isn't only me and the person I choose, you need to find out who else does and why.
And that really leaves us with a final thought. As more and more of our everyday objects get smart and get connected, collecting data from the most private corners of our lives, we really have to decide for ourselves what privacy actually means to us anymore and what we're really willing to accept in exchange for just a little more convenience and insight.